Do you look at the chemistry and the timing between Dakota and some of these receivers and look at it like it's a little bit slower than what it was maybe this point last year? Some of those throws that early on that, let's say Vernon had with DC always looked like they were on, and it seems like timing or chemistry may be a little off between Dakota and some of the guys running routes.
I don't know if it's necessarily a chemistry issue. I think there's just things, again, we need to coach the execution, coach the rhythm, coach the timing, the route tops. Just, there's stuff on both ends of a throw. There's protections that are involved in that, and so a lot of times when it's a throw that's missed by 6 inches, there's some other thing at play. But I think the overall chemistry there is good.
We've talked a lot about the 2-point tries, but do you feel like the first half, the way it ended of not getting the first down, the punt return, and then letting them back into the end zone scoring had maybe a bigger impact than those, getting the momentum into the second half, and then they scored again? Well,
that was certainly a huge swing. Yeah, I think anytime going for it on fourth down, we convert. And that's a big deal, but the 20 was 20-7, and getting the big punt return, that's a huge play, and again we were had it perfectly fit, and we just need to literally stop and make the guy fair catch it, or tackle him, and so again we've got to coach that and execute it.
Next guy.
You guys preached competition till the whistle yesterday after the game. Dakota mentioned in that environment sometimes if you're in the trenches, it might be a little hard to hear the whistle. Is there any truth to that, or did you give any leeway to your guys with that?
Sometimes. I mean, I don't think that was the instance yesterday. I think that the officials do have a tendency to not blow their whistle because they're worried about a fumble, which I understand, and let replay take its course, which is tough. But no, this is 100% on us and on me.
Mike. The week after a loss, moving forward, looking ahead, do you find that teams are more fired up, that they learn more, that they respond better than say the discussion of learning more from week 1 to week 2?
I sure hope so. And that'll say a lot about how we respond, and there's guys that don't really, whether it's punt coverage for instance, we can talk until we're blue in the face of, hey, this guy's going to drop it, and then he does, and you're 4 feet away from it instead of a foot away from it. That's a big deal, in the wake of a loss, and all those little things, all the things that we can do as coaches, all the details of communication, everything that everybody talks about is amplified. And so, yeah, I think it does take to that point for some guys in this generation to really get slapped in the face that you try to reinforce in after a victory.
How much do you think the youth of the team played to the amount of penalties that happened in the game?
I don't think it necessarily was the youth of the team. I think some of our most experienced guys had penalties, and that's again where those guys need to rise up above all that and play fundamentally sound, play with discipline, particularly when we have other guys out at those positions. But again, that's on me. That's on all of us.
A lot of guys at the end of the game wanted to compare it to maybe Michigan State last season. Can you get a sense of, obviously you just take a loss from it, and that's the major thing that stands out, but as far as the way this group kind of maybe galvanizes as a team, is that what you want to see?
Well, certainly you want to, like we're talking, you want to respond, and you want to rebound, you want to play better, you want to come together and galvanize, and all those things that we'll talk about. And yeah, there were some similarities. This was a little bit different. Got up more. Had a couple chances to make plays. Even when that ball was in the air to Charles at the end, I mean, I'm like laughing to myself after everything that just happened. And that gets knocked down, and so no, frustrating. Great environment. Both places were great environments, and got to turn the page.